All right, hey everyone, it's Matt from Greatness Everyday, doing things a little bit different this time. Yes, I am that guy standing on a paddleboard in the middle of the lake talking to himself, but that's okay. We're gonna see how this works out today and just hope that, number one, you can hear me. Number two, that I'm gonna be able to share some good stuff with you today, because I was just out on a morning paddleboard run, which was something I was really excited because the lake is very, very calm today, as you can see kind of around me. I've set a mic up, so it's going to be a little bit better sound quality, hopefully. Hopefully you don't hear too much of the board kind of hitting the water, obviously right beneath you as you're at the front of the board. And basically what I want to talk to everybody about today is just kind of a few things that's been going on for me, because I've been quiet here on YouTube, I've been quiet on social media, and I've come to realize a few things. It was a really good time of reflection for me. It was a really good time for me to just kind of sit back and think about how things are going, assess and evaluate kind of the last few months for me. And that's been something that I'm grateful that I really got the opportunity to do. Whether it happened naturally and life just kind of slowed down, or whether it was something that was purposeful, I'm still trying to figure out a little bit, but let's get into it. So the very first thing that happened is, number one, the coolest thing for me, and even though I've taken like a little bit of a step back in the last couple months, the coolest thing for me has been able to be seeing kind of what has happened with the systems and the processes that have been put in place and that I've built over these last few years. And that was the really goal that I had for this entire time, let's say, low, because I didn't take it off entirely. I was still doing a lot of stuff, but it was cool for me to be able to see the systems that I put in place really go ahead and work even when I stepped away. And that's the biggest thing that I've learned over the past few years, is as you go to start a business, the business should, if you're growing a really good business, be able to run itself. And so now I'm at that place where I've started my business, I've built my business, and from there it's going into really running itself now. So that's the exciting thing. It's a small test for me to see if what I had hoped would happen is actually going ahead. Now it's happening. So the business is running itself. In the past few months, I haven't uploaded very much to YouTube, which has been intentional. I needed a break from that. I haven't done a lot of stuff when it comes to growing my business, but guess what? The business still grew. And is it small? Yes. But this is a time where I've tested everything that I've built. It's running itself, and now I can really start to scale it up. So that's exciting for me. And I think for those of you that are trying to start a business, with my pretty small experience, but it is worthy experience, I think that people try to scale up too fast. And there's nothing wrong with playing the long game. Whether you're talking about business, whether you're talking about investments, whether you're talking about health, right? Really, I think too many people play the short game, and then that's why they quit. That's why they fail. That's why they aren't as successful as they want to be. So I'm going to encourage you today to focus on playing the long game. For me, that's something that I've always had kind of in mind as I started my business, as I've looked at investing, as I look at health. I'm in it for the long game. It's going to be 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years before I stop doing these things. And trust me, it's not going to be on any choice that I have. It's going to be because, frankly, I do these things until I'm dead. And then really, when you think about that, if the systems can run themselves, they should be able to run themselves when I'm not here as well. So that's one of those things that I've really kind of looked at in the past few months, and I've been very pleased and very grateful for that. The systems that I built have been running themselves. So business, let's talk about that for a second. Here on YouTube, right? I haven't uploaded a lot of videos. I'm still getting quite a few videos, views, watch time. I'm getting click-throughs, I'm getting subscribers, and all that stuff. So really, the business is running itself. It's also bringing in money every single month without me uploading and regularly doing things as well. So that's the exciting piece. Obviously, that's one of the goals of a business. It doesn't have to be the only goal of a business to make you money. They can be so much more valuable in many other ways. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. If I look at my investments over the past few months have grown significantly. Even when the markets haven't been like as great as they were last year, let's say, coming out of that 2020 recession. I think for me, the cool thing for me to look back at is to just kind of say, hey, I stuck to my plan, I did what I was going to do, and things grew. And obviously that's the goal of investing. So I'm grateful for that as well. Those are a few things that I wanted to just kind of touch on here in just a second. But I also want to ask now, if you like this kind of different video, hopefully you can see me, hopefully you can hear me and the sound's not too bad. Hopefully I'm not breathing too heavy because I'm halfway into this paddleboard workout that I had today. I'm trying to hold it back, but sometimes that's difficult for me. One of the big things that I've also realized is the fact that when it comes to me, I've realized a few things. So number one, I've realized that my biggest weakness, liability, if you will, kind of thing that's holding me back, is really just not trusting myself. That's something that I've realized over the past few months, and that's just something that for anybody in whatever you're trying to achieve is going to be a big thing that holds you back from achieving whatever your goal is. For me, I'm trying to grow my business. I'm trying to make sure that I can grow that to a point where it can allow me to do kind of whatever I want to. I don't have to worry about waking up and going and working a second job if I don't want to, because that is my second job, right? I teach full time. I love that job. But the business that I have allows me to do some pretty cool things outside of teaching in the world that I live in right now. So that's one of those things that for me, as I grow that business, I'm realizing the biggest thing holding me back is really kind of myself. And you might be able to relate to that. If you can relate to that, hit the thumbs up button. Tell me that that's something you relate to. Drop kind of down in the comments what the biggest thing holding you back is and what you think that is. Because I realized this probably when I was going through and just getting ready to publish my first online course here at Greatness Every Day. And that was probably one of the biggest things that for me, I'm getting ready to publish this course, and it was basically done for the past few months. I just didn't press publish, and there was something about it that was holding me back. I don't quite know, or at least I didn't quite know what it was at the time. And then I just kind of stopped for a while and just became cognizant or became aware of kind of the emotions that I was feeling. And I'm really not an emotional person that much. It's not something that most people would say, oh yeah, Matt's super emotional, but being aware, I should say, of kind of the emotions that we have and why we have those emotions is the important part to growth. And once you can kind of identify what you're feeling, why you're feeling that way, I think there's a lot of growth that can come from that. So just kind of share with you that vulnerable piece where for me, the biggest thing is probably not trusting myself, not being confident enough in my abilities. Because I look at this investing course that I'm putting out, 6 Principles to Successful Investing. It's something that for me, I know is going to help people. I know it's helped me massively, and you can just see kind of from some of the information I put out about the course what it's done for me in my life, and it's something that obviously speaks for itself. So why can't that help other people? Why can't that be something that other people use? And as I was kind of close to getting done the course, I kind of like slowed down massively. In fact, I stopped, and the biggest thing I realized was I wasn't trusting my abilities to do for what I did myself for other people. So I just couldn't press that publish button. I couldn't do the missing piece, the final piece. In fact, I do all the work. It's like kind of running a marathon. I run for 41 kilometers, and in the last kilometer, I stop and I don't finish the race. And that'd be so stupid if you think about it as a race example and an analogy, but a lot of times in life we do those things. So for me, that was the online course, and I'm excited that that's coming out. I know and I'm confident that's going to help a lot of people learn how to invest, really multiply their money using those 6 principles that I talk about, and ultimately, I really believe change people's lives, and that's why I'm doing it. But I needed to come to that realization. So creating this online course was a huge amount of growth for me, because I got really uncomfortable. I said, okay, why do I feel this way? Why am I not super excited at this moment for people to go ahead and get this online course because I know what it can do. And I think in life, if we were to put those fears aside, if we were to get uncomfortable for a little bit, kind of ask ourselves why we're feeling uncomfortable. Sometimes we don't want to face those answers. That's where a huge amount of growth comes. And that's what we do here at Greatness Every Day. I never wanted to be on YouTube. I never wanted to be standing on a paddleboard talking to myself in the middle of the lake with boats around watching me. Any of that stuff. But this is uncomfortable. This is where the growth comes from. And ultimately, this is what really pushes me and forces me to become a better person, live my greatest life each and every day. So today, starting out on a paddleboard. I usually do this in the evenings, but after this morning, I think it's going to be a morning thing now. Catch the sunrise with a sunrise paddle. Anyway, if you can relate to those two things that I shared today, I appreciate you watching. Hit the thumbs up button, go down, comment below kind of what you've realized over the past few months. I'll tell you right now, I am very excited for what summer holds for me, for all of you here at the Greatness Everyday community. I'm excited to see you in the next video. Stay tuned. There's a lot more coming out here on YouTube. Hopefully some different content. And we'll see you soon. Peace.